Don't drop it.
Don't drop it. Please don't drop it. Yeah. Bald Yoda will be happy. Didn't go for matte black. You're very happy.
Yay!
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 But I've got to find the spigot rings. There's no spigot rings in there. Or there, or there. So I'm hoping there's some in here. No, it's not a spigot ring either. It's definitely...
This is...
No, that's not a spigot ring either.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, is that? Spigot rings.
Spigot rings.
Yay! We've got in the spigot kit. Spigot.
Ooh.
Spigot ring. Cool.
Some new nuts.
Some nuts. You need some new nuts there.
Oh, we need new nuts. New shiny nuts.
They go in there to make it fit the right size of your axle, basically. But they don't really fit. Maybe you have to screw them in or something. Oh, there we go, yeah. So hopefully that'll make that the right size for my car. I've now got some OZ, I don't know how people pronounce that, OZ Racing Ultraleggera wheels on. Went for the matte graphite thing, silver, graphite, we'll just call it graphite. Went for the graphite option rather than matte black. I preferred the look of the matte black, just looking at a picture, like of the matte black and the silver, or graphite, side by side, I preferred the matte black, but looking at cars that have actually got them fitted, so like, when I say a picture before I meant just pictures of the wheels on their own, but when you look at pictures of cars that have actually got them, the matte black didn't look quite as good to me, so yeah, I went for silver, graphite, whatever we're going to call it, and I think they look quite good on the car. I'll flash up a few shots now of the wheels on the car so you can see what that looks like. The suspension we've raised up a bit as well, which you can probably tell from that, mainly because there was a kind of weird noise when I did a track day the other day, which it wasn't a full track day, I just did a few laps, so there's no video. But I did a few laps at Blyton Park the other day, and there was a weird sort of rubbing noise when you turn left quite harshly. So we raised the suspension up just to try and see if it was the wheel rubbing on the inside of the arch or something, which is what it looked like to start with. But that's not made any difference, it still does it. So still need to try and find out what that is. It only does it when you turn left, not when you turn right. It's a weird noise. So yeah, still need to try and figure that out. But we'll probably lower the suspension again a little bit, but not as low as it was before, because it was a bit too impractical. And it also actually made it handle worse in some cases, like on the bumpy roads around here. It was bottoming out, and it was just, yeah, not good. One other thing, quite a big change that I've made when I got these wheels put on, is that I've gone back to the stock tyres. The crappy Prius tyres, the Michelin Primacy HP or whatever they're called. It's probably going to be a lot slipperier now, because it's got the extra power from the turbo, so an extra 100 brake from the turbo, and yeah, we're back on slidey tyres. So this should be interesting. It's not as bad as I was expecting, to be honest. Like, I'm driving it fine now. I thought with the turbo, every time you floored it in like second gear or whatever, it might start spinning the wheels up, but it doesn't. So that's okay. It seems to be fine for just general driving in the dry, at least. Like in the rain, I think it's going to be a handful. It was already a handful in the rain, even with the stock power. So yeah. But yeah, the reason for doing that is because like, the great thing about this car when I got it was that you could just turn into a roundabout, whatever, at 10 miles an hour. And it would start sliding a bit, and you could just have fun at low speed. Whereas by putting the turbo in it and putting better tyres on it and everything, I feel like I'm just making it more and more like my other cars, which are decent at going fast and decent at cornering, but they don't really slide that much unless you really floor the throttle. Which is, this car didn't do that before. It slid without having to have loads of power. So I'm trying to keep that fun factor of being able to slide around at low speed and just mess around with it and not have to use the throttle all the time to get it to slide. But before, it didn't have quite enough power to be sliding on the throttle at all, really. Whereas now, hopefully, with the turbo, in first and second gear at least, you'll be able to, if you have not turned quite tight enough to make it slide, you will be able to use the throttle, hopefully, to kick it out a bit. So hopefully I'll kind of have the best of both worlds now. I keep using the word hopefully because I've not really tested any of this yet, which is what I'm kind of driving now to try and find out. Yeah, so let's see what it's like. We'll go second gear, turn in kind of tight and just see what happens. Oh yeah. yeah, so it still slides pretty well. Still slides. And because of the turbo, you know, you can actually make it slide with the throttle a bit as well. It's not just turning that makes it slide now. Because before, the throttle didn't have enough power really to kick it round. But now it feels like it's pretty much there. So yeah, it's quite fun. The only difficulty is, with the turbo, you don't want the boost to come in really harshly as you're turning and it kicks it out too much. I hope that makes sense. Like, you've got to be conscious of where you are in the sort of the boost progression when you're flooring it and when you're turning. And to be fair, these tyres don't seem quite as bad as I remember. I don't know if that's because we've got the different suspension and different brakes and different everything now. Maybe some of that is playing a part in the tyres feeling like they're a bit better than they were. But yeah, they don't. I was expecting to get in, especially now that I've got used to the new tyres. I was expecting to get in this and be like, shit, it's so slippery. But it's not that bad. You've still got to put in a bit of effort to get it to slide. I don't actually know what else we're going to do to the car now. It's got the wheels, it's got the lights, it's got the turbo, it's got the clutch, the exhaust, the brakes. Tempted to put new brakes on the back as well, just because on the track day I did, it didn't feel like it stopped that well. So yeah, there's that, but that's not really a big job. Yeah, other than that, I don't know what else we'll do. I'm sure we'll think of some stuff to do to it. Yeah, so we'll see you in the next video, whatever that ends up being.